Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Reasonably Effective podcast. I hope you're enjoying your week. I'm, of course, joined by Uncommon Fossil as always. This is
Hello.
episode, is this five?
I
I think it's
think
five,
I
right?
think so.
Yeah. And like lives, I've been doing some live, so that's not ideal. But yeah, I played like a game, or played like two games. My opponent like crashed out on the games, all the good stuff. Yeah. So how have you been? You've been doing live, right? It's been making you nauseous.
It at times, not some of the background effects are a little intense with the swirling and the moving, but the big thing for me is I migrated to my live this week, so I'm sure you don't view that well. But I was getting tired of having the two accounts, and I was trying to kind of make some progress in both accounts every day, and it got annoying. So I did the prep, which was a big grind, and in live. So we'll see how it goes.
Yeah. Well, you did the prep in PTGO
PTZ,
for live,
right,
right?
which took probably a bunch of time for 2 weeks. Playing events, making trades, and but honestly, in getting rid of cards, I like getting rid of cards that I already had in live. I picked up probably like 40 packs, which then gets it some decent V maxes and V stars. So I think it was worth it.
Yeah, I guess. Well, we'll see. We'll see if
If
it
if
pays off.
assuming live works, right? And we're all going to be in live. We'll see whether we can play the game.
Yeah, I hope so. I hope so.
All right, so we jump into the podcast, and we're starting off with the game show segment.
Yep, yep.
So this week we're doing a name that Pokemon, and because of the transition to live, which is fast approaching for everyone, and we're going to be saying goodbye to the beloved theme format. We're restricting these to Pokemon from theme decks. So
Yeah, well, you say the attacker ability name, and the person says the Pokemon name.
right. We're going to say either attacker ability. They have to guess the Pokemon, and the Pokemon has to be from a theme deck, and it should be from a deck we have some familiarity with, I would say. But we'll see how it goes as we get on.
Yeah, yeah, we'll see.
So I'm starting things off with an ability, and starting off throwing you a softball here. Roaring Resolve.
Resolve that's the Charizard from Relentless Flame, right?
Yes, it is. So
Yeah, accelerates energy. A classic, a classic.
all right, 2 energy to itself, and you do more damage for that. I think that was a theme deck when you started, and I started. We did early on, and I think you even built a standard deck with it at the time.
Yeah, that's probably my first standard deck. Wasn't your first standard deck, or was it like seriously good standard deck?
I'm not
It
sure if it
was.
was. I guess it might have been. Yeah, probably.
Anyway, let's move on
Yep.
to my first one. This one's a little bit harder, I guess, but it's the attack. It's an attack called Smashing Edge.
Smashing Edge. Now you're getting me with something. Wow.
I think,
Smashing
yeah, I
Edge.
think this one you could figure this one out, but it's not free. It's not you're gonna yeah, I don't know. I think you can get this one though.
See the edge. I'm not sure what to do with the edge part. So it's smashing. Um.
Yeah, I'm looking. There's a Pokemon that's not a theme deck with this attack as well, but
But that one doesn't count. So it's
yeah,
got to
I
be
mean
the.
if you get that one, you get it too, but generally not. But this one, yeah, I'll give it to you. I mean, you won't like it. Doesn't make sense to guess the other one, but
Right. Wow. I am not getting any idea on this one. So
it's free. It's
I mean,
free.
I really don't have any idea. So um, I'm gonna. Well, it's wrong. Just
Smashing Edge. That helps you, right?
no, it does not help me at all. I don't know smashing. I don't know edge. Um, yeah,
Are you just gonna say something?
I'll say seismitoad. I'm pretty sure that's
No, it's
wrong.
it's Zacian,
Oh, Zacian.
the edge, like the sword.
Ah, okay. All right. I
That
would.
was free. No, that wasn't free, but
All
you
right.
should have had that one.
I don't. I mean, I don't. Zacian's not very good either. So it's. I've
Yeah, but
hardly
like,
played the deck too. But all right, that's where you're starting from. I'm going to have to ramp mine up here. So the second
oh
one's
no,
easy too. So,
yeah,
and it's an attack, stunning likeness.
stunning likeness. Oh,
Yes, this one
I want to
you should know
say,
this one too.
I think that's Smeargle, right? That copies the supporter.
Correct. And you know what deck it's in? It's in two decks at least.
Is it in the Lost Thunder decks?
It might be. I'm not sure. It's in
The
it's
Blazing Volcanoes Stormcaller.
yeah, it's in those two for sure.
Yeah, so that one's a
All
bit
right.
harder. That one's certainly harder. But
It is, but you've certainly played it for sure.
yeah, this next one I was saying this might be easier, but
Okay.
and I think there are actually multiple Pokemon with this attack. You might need to say one that's in a theme deck. There are definitely ones that aren't in theme decks that have this, but Catterday,
Oh, Catterday. Okay. I,
classic.
yeah. What has? Okay. What Pokemon in a theme deck has Catterday? Um, because obviously we both played Catterday
Yeah, it's
back
one of
in
the
the day.
original, the OG decks.
Yeah, one of the early standard decks, probably for both of us, that wasn't complete garbage. I think
Yeah,
that's fair to say. So Catter, what's it in? So well, now I need to name the Pokemon, right? So
yeah. Just
not
like what are the like category like Pokemon, right? Just
see, I'm trying to remember now. It's been so long since I played Catterday. I'm trying to think what it is. I know I've seen it recently. I think in the theme deck too. Um, so all
they're all
right,
cats.
it's a cat. So Meowth.
Yeah, yeah. There's a Meowth
In which deck?
in oh, what's it called? I know it's the one with Welder in it. That deck also plays the
Okay.
Litten with the Incineroar line. So the Litten has
Okay.
cat as well.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. Yeah, I played that deck some and certainly picked it up to get some Welder
Battle
back.
Mind. Yep, Battle
Okay.
Mind.
Yeah. All right. All right, good. Got one. All right. So getting a little harder here, I think. So an ability here, Slush Rush.
Flush Rush. Oh, that's I was looking at that one. That's
Hmm.
a Alolan Sand Slash, right? With the draw
Yes.
one,
Right.
which is
Draw one per turn, so which is a very nice ability to have, I would say.
yeah, and that's in was it Tropical Takedown and Imperial Command? Is that
Yeah,
something like that?
I know it's a tropical takedown. I'm not sure about the other
Okay.
one. Usually they come in more than one. Uh, yeah, I'm pretty sure it's in some other decks too.
Yeah, I think it's in an older, like a water deck where you can. I mean, you can attack with a tropical takedown too. But
Yep.
okay, so this is the third one. This one's also easy. This one might be easier than the first one. But this is an ability this time. It's bench barrier.
Oh, bench barrier. All right. Oh, that's on Mew, right?
Yeah, yeah, that's Mew.
Which we both
Stop playing standard. So
right. Stop playing standard. That's in the Towering Heights deck, right?
yeah, yeah. I just searched Mew because I'm like on PT. If you're just listening audio, I'm on PTGO and I just searched Mew and there are a lot of Pokemon that are Mew. But yeah, it's from Towering Heights.
Yeah. Normally when we do these podcasts, I'm in PTCGO, but since I migrated, I'm in live, and most of these cards I don't think are in live yet. So I'm looking at the web, which doesn't show up for people watching, but that's life. But they can look it up themselves also,
Yeah.
and hopefully
So
they know.
I guess if you wanna watch live, you can watch the Common Fossils, and if you want to watch PTGO, yeah, watch mine 10 types.
Yeah. So all right. So the fourth one here, I have an ability also. It is Fresh Squeezed.
Fresh squeezed. Oh, I think I know that one's oh what's it's Shuckle, I think. Yeah, the one that like discards energy, right?
Yep, very good. Yep, Shuckle. Fresh. When you play this Pokemon from your hand onto your bench during your turn, you may search for up to three basic energy cards and discard them. Then shuffle your deck.
Uh-huh.
So,
Okay, yeah.
right, in Blazing Volcano, which is a very good deck, a tricky deck to play. One of the
Yeah, and
harder theme
Shuckle's
decks.
a cool Pokemon that like accelerates energy too. It's very unique and hard to play, but that's a cool one.
Right, it's attack, shuffle, attack, accelerates two basic energy to any Pokemon you want. So,
Yeah, okay.
there's that.
So now I'll move on to my fourth one. This one is an attack. I'd say this isn't that bad either, but it's not free or anything, but it's Meteor Assault.
Oh, Meteor Assault. Okay. Ooh, it's one I'm certainly familiar with it. Problem with playing online is you don't name the attack. You just kind of click on the button. But that one's very familiar. Meteor Assault.
Yeah, it's certainly one. I guess it sees more play than the Zacian one.
Meteor Assault. I'm also trying to figure out what the type is.
Yeah.
Um. All right, so it could be metal. I'm thinking, or it might be lightning. or it could be something else, of course, too. So I'm going to go with metal. Meteorites are metal, but I'm not sure. In which case, it would be in the Zamazenta theme
I mean,
deck.
they're also like rocks too, but
That's true, which would be fighting type. That's true. And you said it's an attack, right? Not an ability.
yes, an attack. It's certainly it's one you probably can't just guess from like the name, but it's when you as you said you recognized it. So
Yeah, so I'm going to say Zamazenta. Probably got it
no,
wrong.
it's a Galarian Surfetched or Surfetched.
Okay, All right, Galarian Surfetched. All right,
Yeah,
not one of the overly played ones there. I wouldn't say, but yeah,
no.
it's a good one. All right, and for me closing out, I have an attack here. Powerful friends.
Powerful friends.
Yeah.
It sounds like an attack that does make more damage for bench Pokemon. It doesn't necessarily have to do that, but probably. Oh, I don't like. It sounds vaguely familiar, but it's so generic too. Like it could be anything.
Yeah,
Uh,
I not sure. I'll have to check if you name something else to make sure it's not other ones that are correct with
yeah.
it.
No, I don't think it's that. I think there's probably only one Pokemon
I
with it.
think
Oh,
so. Yeah,
let's
actually, I
see.
was checking. I was looking through, and I think pretty sure it's the only one.
Oh, let me think. So it could be what like type of deck is this? Let's see. Anything that does more damage for bench Pokemon. That's like I can't think of any Pokemon like that in themed though.
Hmm.
Um, let's see. So I was thinking it could be there's like an Empoleon, but I think that's called Imperial. I don't know. I don't think that's what it's called though. Let's see what else. You can think it through the decks. It doesn't like have to do with any type in particular either.
No, from
I
the
feel,
name, no.
I feel like I should. Actually, I don't really feel like I should know this. I'll just I'll go with Empoleon. I don't think that's it though.
No. So it is Miltank. It does 10 plus 70
Oh,
more if you have a stage 2, and it's from
yeah.
Mental Might. All right, the deck everybody
Oh, there is
starts with in
another one.
PTCGO.
There's Heracross also has that,
Does
which
that
does the
also
same
have it?
thing. Yeah,
Okay.
it's the better one in Blazing Volcano. Is
Okay,
it?
that one has it too. There.
Yeah, it's the same like effect, except it's like good.
Well,
Yeah, I
yeah, and the
remember that.
deck's
Okay.
not horrible.
I should have known that.
All right, I'm sure
Maybe.
you played it. You had to play the deck early on.
Yeah, and the Heracross as well.
Yeah.
So okay. So now what of it? So actually, I'll give you two because you're actually if you get both these right.
Okay.
First of all, I have an ability. Um, this one is an ability that you're somewhat familiar with. Um, hopefully.
Okay.
It's Dynamotor
So that's on Flaffy. Oh wait, Dynamotor from wait.
in a theme deck.
Right.
Fluffy came out since
No, you're right, not Flaffy. It's the electric.
yeah.
Right. I'm trying to make sure it was Electros, the stage 2.
Yes,
Right.
yes.
So
So you got that one. No, this one's a bit harder.
okay,
It is. You
probably a
might
lot.
get this.
All right.
Um, it's not like that much harder, but I'd say it's not free. It's an attack, and it's named Devour.
An attack. Ooh, devour. In a theme deck though, huh?
Yeah. What are you thinking?
Well, I'm thinking, wasn't that the attack? Was that Durant's attack? The mill attack?
The one from like Battle Styles?
Yeah.
Uh,
Trying to think what that was called, but let's see, devour. All right, so
maybe.
it's familiar. So, um, devour. Maybe a fighting Pokemon. Um, I'll say Palpitoad.
No,
Imagine
it's
wrong.
Durant. It's
It
Durant.
is Durant. I was gonna, so I talked myself out of it. So,
Yeah. The
oh,
Metal
terrible.
Durant, the OG Durant.
The one. Okay, so I had it and I let it go.
Yeah. Yeah, it escaped from your jaws. So
Got it. So
you almost got there. You almost got there.
okay, so that's the. Yeah, I should have had that one. All right. Well, good job. See, so you won again, but it was closer this week. So
Yeah, I mean, I did give you a freebie as well.
yeah,
I was just gonna
the
do
fifth
Durant,
one,
not
right? So I wouldn't have. I would have gotten 2. So you got 4. So all right.
okay, but it's time to move on to our next segment now, which I think a bit more interesting, although less audience participation. But we're going to be, of course, going over a reasonably effective deck or a card. In this case, it's a deck. It's everyone's favorite deck, Beefeon.
That's right. A deck which I guess you net decked originally, right? But then
Yeah, we've only played with the net deck list. I don't. I think that's the only list we've played with.
it could be. I'm not sure. I know I've played it a decent amount, so I don't know. I think I tweaked it from your deck list, but maybe I didn't.
Yeah, I don't know. I think. Do you play two Empoleon?
I play one, which
Okay.
might be a
Um.
difference. I have on my notes I at times I've either considered to or tried to.
Okay. So I think the original list had two Empoleon. Um. But yeah, so it's Beedrill, Leafeon,
Yep.
Beedrill from the one with the single strike, Beedrill from I believe just Chilling Reign, yeah, Chilling
Yeah,
Reign, and
Chilling Reign.
Leafeon Vstar, the first Vstar, which has an attack that does one. I guess you should run through the deck quickly. Uh,
Yeah.
Leafeon V itself accelerates energy and then ends your turn.
Yeah.
Leafeon V Star, this 180 takes 30 less next turn. And also has its V Star power, which is a gust, essentially like a boss. As an
Hmm.
ability, very strong.
Yeah.
Beedrill can do 110 for one grass. As a stage 2, you get that into play with single strike mustard, or you can use persist sting, which insta KOs Pokemon with special energy, so that's its main use. And then, of course, we have the Inteleon engine, which also allows the Inteleon from Sword and Shield to be an attacker, as well as
Yep.
the rest of the line. And then Empoleon from, I believe, Astral Radiance. No, sorry, from Brilliant Stars, which has its ability that allows you to put it straight into play from the discard pile onto your bench. If you have no cards in hand, then you draw three. It does a 60 snipe for one, so not too bad. Not great though, but it's an interesting deck and a kind of a weird deck, right?
It is, and it has two stage twos, both of which don't have any way to evolve into it, which is certainly not the norm.
Yeah, I mean, for me it is, but
It is, and they're all okay attackers. They're not great attackers, but it tends to you can often find a way to map out a victory. This was a deck when I live went global, the global beta, and everyone was playing Lugia. I wanted to play this deck in live, with the Beedrill to knock out the Lugias and such, but obviously didn't have access to those cards. So I started
yeah, you didn't
playing it.
want to like sit in the game for like 5 hours or something, right?
Well, and actually to craft like V stars and stuff, it isn't cheap in live still. So it's
Yeah, and like mustards and stuff are annoying to craft too, right?
yeah. I think they might be some slightly expensive and stuff. Yeah, you don't get any of those cards really. So
Yeah, for some reason, for some reason.
they only give you the rapid strike cards, not the single strike. But yeah, so those are the Pokemon. Energies is just basic water and grass.
Yeah,
Um,
mostly grass because like your main attacker here is like Leafeon Vstar, I guess. Inteleon does, and Beedrill also is sometimes.
yeah,
It's like weird because I guess 110 attack you'll definitely use quite a bit.
right. Because if they don't have special energy, both attacks on Beedrill are for one energy, so that makes it good. As well as Empoleon, which it's largely there for a draw, but then it does 60 damage for one energy to any Pokemon. So it's a way to finish something off that might have retreated or soften something up. So it's got a place there. Leafeon's, I guess, the big attack, but it takes 3 energy, 2 of which are grass, so it's tough to power up. Unless you go first, because then you use Leafeon V's ability, accelerate one to itself, and then you can get it set up with a Raihan
Uh, yeah,
later
it's
on.
kind of yeah. So it's a bit like annoying, and you take like different routes. It's definitely gotten worse over time. It used to be like, actually, I'm not sure if that's true, but like Beedrill is. Oh, you play Palpad in your deck. Just wondering, right?
Yeah, I play a Palpad.
Okay. Yeah, this list, the original list does not play Palpad. Um, so like your goal in certain matchups is just to muster and like Beedrill over and over, and then you just
Right.
win. Like against Mew, the deck is pretty good. People are starting to play Big Parasol, which is not good for the deck, but you can
Right.
ignore that, I guess.
I mean, Beedrill's like the Yveltal that knocks anything out, except Beedrill doesn't knock out as many Pokemon. So it's like the poor
Yeah,
man's Yveltal. But it only takes 1 energy,
yeah. I was gonna say.
so you can sometimes, but you have to get the mustard and get it swinging. In one of the things with the Beedrill also, I know, you have to muster to get it into play, and usually you have to, it's usually getting knocked out. So you got to play a muster, get it on your bench. Then you have to get energy onto it, which the deck plays Training Court. that's the ideal thing because then you're guaranteed energy. Then you have to swing into the active, so you kind of need a Pokemon in the active with an air balloon and a training court in play, ideally before you mustard. Otherwise, you might not get off the Beedrill attack. So that's some of the deck is a bit high roll in some of those ways.
Yeah, it does play interestingly, at least the build I'm looking at here, it plays three energy search. So it's like a
Mm-hmm.
very much an Intellion engine deck where you're always using lots of engine pieces because you need to hit these specific combos as well as you have Glare and Meowth within
Yep.
your hand. And like
Right.
Ultra Ball, this deck really benefits from Ultra Ball.
Mm-hmm.
So you use Intellions a lot and you have the stage 2 Intellion. So you have to be very like precise with your play because you want to be able to have a lot of engine pieces once you draw cards after,
Mm-hmm.
so that you can hopefully hit the energy search or whatever. And then you also have, of course, then you can mustard and then Empoleon.
Yep.
And so that's like all interesting. It's like obviously very fancy, hard to do. So you need to be precise in that. Also, you play Scoop Up Nest, very important piece.
Yep.
But then you're obviously using that generally to scoop up the Intellion engine, but then you're also using that as an attacker, so you want to make sure you don't attach to Intellion that you're going to scoop up because then you just lose the energy. And then also the big thing, I guess, this list, well, there are a few things, but
Mm-hmm.
um, it's only draw supporter, ignoring Raihan, which doesn't exactly count. You don't really draw anything. It's only draw supporter is mustard.
Right. It is. Yeah, Raihan and Boss are the only supporters I see in my build. So right, because now obviously Mustard draws you five, so when you it is a very powerful draw card.
Yeah, if I was like good,
It,
it's not like a weak draw. You're not like sad to play it. The issue is getting to play it.
correct.
So I think this leads me to the other point, which I think makes it, or it's kind of the same point, but um, this is one of the most interesting decks in the that I've ever played, honestly, because every deck in this list, every card in this list has a lot of value.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like search cards is a little different, but like Mustard is your like setup piece in the terms of it gets your attacker into play, but it also draws you cards.
Yep.
Leafeon accelerates energy is it's an attacker. It provides gust.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Raihan's how you set up. It's how you search. Inteleon again, like search attacker. Same thing with Empoleon draw attacker. You see like all this. Every card's like doing double duty, and it's
Yep.
just kind of funny.
Right. I mean, you have a lot of attacking options. Now there are a lot of them in one sense mediocre attacking options, but together it can work out, right? The Intellion's a good attack, right? Does
I mean,
120.
it's not that good.
It's
It's pretty
useful,
solid.
right? 120 and 20 to the bench. The Empoleon attack has a place in the deck. Beedrill, you're knocking out with persistent sting when you can, but there's a lot of times you're doing the 110 with Jet Spear and discarding, and then the Leafeon is the attack is good when you can get it set up, but then also just the Vstar ability is really important too because you have to play mustard for Beedrill, and a lot of times then you need to gust something up, and so you have that Leafeon, but you only have that once in the game, so you got to really plan that out.
Yeah, I think this list actually doesn't have a big issue gusting because I mean, like the list plays one boss, and then obviously you can
Right.
only use your Vista power once, but you don't need to gust that much because you can just hit stuff. You have that
Mm-hmm.
sniping ability still with both
Right.
the Chilling Reign Intellion and the Empoleon, so it's not like a huge deal. Usually, the big problem is KOing your opponent's active, which is either Beedrill or like using like Leafeon plus Inteleon, which is awkward because like it doesn't really hit great numbers, and Leafeon's just an underwhelming attacker, right? It just doesn't do a lot.
Right. I mean, at the time, it was one of the first V
It was
stars.
yeah,
It
it
was
was
the
the
first,
first
was it? So it's
with Glaceon. It was a promo before Arceus even.
okay. So at 260 HP for two prizer um was considered tanky at the time, right? And it
Yeah.
did 180, and then when it attacks, it takes 30 less. So in a sense, it got to 290. So that was kind of tanky for a two prizer. But then you compare it to Goodra V-Star now, it's so less tanky, and it does 180 damage instead of 200. It does less damage, so it's just like outclassed by that. Um, but it still works
Yeah.
in the deck because the grass energy and the V-Star power.
Yeah, as I said, it provides like a lot of value in a lot of different ways. But like and Leafeon V, some people when looking at this list would probably say that Leafeon V is like always a good play, but realistically, like turn one, keep calling is a very good option if you're going second. Um,
Yeah.
and sometimes you can even Napoleon or Beedrill. So you wanna like you're not gonna like Leafeon V most of the time if you go second, which is kind of weird. Especially
Yeah.
with like keep calling, you can just Raihan next turn too, so it's not a big deal.
Yeah, I mean, often, right, you only use the ability to accelerate with Leafeon V, usually if you go first. And I find a lot of games, if I don't go first, then I might not attack with Leafeon for the game, depending how the game plays out, because it's hard to get those three energies onto Leafeon unless I either have a turn where my attacker didn't get knocked out, or I'm just kind of passing on attacking a turn.
Yeah, and sometimes you do need to pass. Like it's something that people don't like to do nowadays, especially because like people think that you need to attack every turn, and it
Yep.
is like certainly good to attack every turn. But like there are times when you just need to sit back because Leafeon does have that tankiness, and you can
Hmm.
use like it usually doesn't get KO'd. It certainly is very possible that it does, but it's tanky enough, and also it obviously does the most damage. That there are
Hmm.
times when you need to sit back and make sure that you have that option, um, and it allows you to do stuff. You can, for example, KO like one shot a Crobat or Luminion, which is very good.
Hmm.
So I think it provides like an interesting value, but it's very difficult to use and decide when to use.
Yeah, yeah. Decision making is really key, and also you need at least one open bench slot in your turn if you're going to have Beedrill. Obviously, you're knocked out, that's taken care of. But sometimes you want two because you might like if you want to throw down a Napoleon, you need another slot. You might sometimes draw more cards with it. So you got to be careful at times not to overplay the fill the bench because you can get yourself in a bind with that. I've found. Um, and it's kind of a puzzle deck to me, which I like. You're often you want a mustard on most turns. So when you're mustard, you see, okay, these are the cards I have in hand. This is what my Inteleon Drizzles on board is. How can I get to that mustard in hand, being my last card, and leaving my bench in the best place so I can get the energy attached and swing into the active. So it's a and then you see what five cards you get after you mustered, and then hopefully it comes together. Which if you play it smart, it usually will come together for you. I think.
Yeah, I think that's really true. And it has like the list I'm looking at it plays four Ultra Ball, four Quick Ball, four Level Ball, three Incense, and then obviously the Italian engine.
Hmm.
And the Italian engine is just very strong, very versatile.
Yeah.
And so in this list it works very well. Um, and it does play that Chilling Reign Italian. A lot of lists choose like not to play it, but it makes use out of the full line very well, I think.
Yeah. Yeah. With the list I've been playing, it's got the one Chilling Reign and Teleon. Often you'll ping with it, and you might scoop it up too. The deck only plays two nets. It might be nice to get another net in there or something, but it's hard to know what to cut. It's a pretty efficient deck list, I think. So, and like it plays only one choice belt, which could be nice, but again, you often need to air balloon also. So, um,
I mean, you do it onto like different Pokemon. You bell onto Leafeon probably. That's the Pokemon that likes
usually
the
you
choice bell.
do, yes.
Or
Although
Inteleon. Sometimes you'll do Inteleon.
correct, right? Sometimes for the Inteleon, because sometimes Leafeon, I went air balloon to it instead because that is a tanky one to retreat. If they're gonna, if they can gust up a Pokemon, but if they can't knock out the Leafeon, I might want to plan that to as my retreat Pokemon too.
Yeah, but I think this deck is like a good showcase of the Inteleon engine and like how it gives a lot of versatility and like precision versus like a lot of engines don't do that.
Yeah, yeah, it definitely needs the Inteleon engine where you can get your exact pieces. Having some deck that just draws you some random cards, this type of deck just wouldn't work um, at all. So once rotation hits, without the Inteleon engine, even though the main attack, the Beedrill and the Leafeon are still around, I don't see this deck as having a way forward. Probably.
Yeah, I don't think the other engines are quite as good as the Inteleon engine.
Right. Yep. So just do want to let so I think if this fits as a reasonably effective deck because it works. It works pretty well. It's obviously not the best deck around, but it's a fun deck to play. You can win games, I think. And do we want to transition to our third segment?
Yeah, that was the transition.
I
You
know,
didn't
and
take the hint.
yeah,
You kept
I know.
dodging.
So,
Okay.
oh, that's right. That's right. I'm supposed to lead this one off
Yes, you
as
are supposed
our
to
great
list them
planning
all.
coordinator. So you're right. So we're talking about engines and rotation coming up, right? Because rotation's coming up, we're all aware, and engines, we're losing the Intellion engine is a big loss. But we're picking up a few cards, and there's some engines around now that don't see a lot of play. So in terms of the loss, like I said, Intellion engine, which is the one engine that gives you that precision to draw the cards you need, like we said. And then the other kind of engine piece, I think, is Crobat V that fits into a number of decks, right? It draws you a decent number of cards, especially now that we have Ultra Ball. I kind of think of that as an engine piece within it too.
Yeah, I think like Crobat, and then sometimes with Luminion or
Yeah.
something like Arceus, all those like ones that you only want to use like once during the game. I think Crobat works nicely with those. In terms of other engines, obviously there's Cinccino engine, but that's outclassed, and that's not exactly rotating anyway because we got like Curly and Liepard. But then
Yep.
we also see that I think the another major loss is the Snorlax from Vivid Voltage. That
With
is,
Gormadize, right?
yeah, which says, well, if you don't, it's like Tropical Beach. If you don't, Tropical Beaches, it's draw till you have 7. If it's in the active, then your turn ends. Um, and it also pairs well with Glare Meowth, which we're also losing. So, and that engine is very good in control. Also, the
Mm-hmm.
Zacian V is very similar to Snorlax, although I believe Rotom V, right? Rotom V is like draw till you have draw 3, turn ends.
Yes. Draw.
Yeah.
Yep. Draw 3. Turn ends. You just don't have the option of attaching energy, but
Yeah,
that's not
and
critical.
less HP, which isn't great.
Right. It's 190 HP. So, and yeah.
It does have a cheaper retreat cost though, so it's an option.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but we're losing some of those options. Zacian isn't that bad, but then losing Snorlax is not great for control decks.
Yeah, they're going to take a hit with that, but control players are always coming up concocting something with some odd mix of cards. So I'm, although there's times that control isn't very good, so we'll see.
Yeah,
And for a lot of these decks, obviously, well, we are losing a scoop up net, which does impact some of these engines too.
yeah. Most
They're going
notably
to
though,
stick around.
Intellion, I think that's one that
Right.
obviously what you're losing anyway. So stuff
Well,
like
and Lost Zone's going to
um,
get hurt, right? That's an engine sticking around
yes,
that's very
yes,
good.
the Comfy, yeah.
Yeah. But like
But
you
do you
said,
think you think Lost Zone will be fine, right? I think Lost Zone will be fine at
yeah,
least.
yeah, Lost Zone will work well still. The loss of net will set it back a little bit, but it's still going to be one of the stronger engines in the game, I think. So yes, I think that one's going to survive and be a good option still.
Yeah, and then also, I guess this is like jumping a little bit, but like then the other deck that survives completely pretty much is UV Max. The Genesect engine is ignoring
Right.
the loss of Quick Ball, which is annoying for the deck because you can't discard as much, but you still can. You got like all the other things like um,
Hmm.
Chromatic, and then of course Ultra Ball.
Yeah.
So you can still discard. It's not too big of a deal.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Genesect sticking around, and that's obviously a very powerful engine card itself. And like you said, we're losing Cinccino, but then Curlia is around now, which probably is even a better option for the most part anyway now. So we just have a different flavor of the Cinccino engine going forward.
Yeah, and you have Liepard. Liepard is losing well a few things, I guess. Liepard's the same thing, like Disco and Draw 2.
Right.
Most notably, it's losing Piers, which is pretty solid in that deck. You play Piers, you play Liepard, and you probably play Crobat as well. Um,
And you're losing
really Liepard,
Crobat too.
yeah, really Liepard's like worse than Curlia, though. It's not livable, searchable.
Right.
And of course, the Curlia evolves into the Gardvart with some ability. Shiny Arcana here, found it, and it draws and doesn't have you don't have to discard, and then the Gallade, which searches for support every turn, and then of course, if you don't know, haven't paid attention to any of the new cards, the absolutely insane Gardvar EX coming in the new set that is like absurd. It like accelerates all your energy, and so it's really good. And that evolving from a strong Curly is very good as well.
Hmm. Yeah. So that's going to be the Curlia is going to become a big time engine. People are going to use a lot. So. Oh, the other card we talked about net loss. It's not a very good engine, but Mew Celebrations of Mew sticks around, right?
Mm,
And
yeah,
there's decks that have leaned on that pretty heavily.
yeah, like Dialga.
Like that, I know, but it's a decent deck though, right? I,
Yeah, and also it's getting hurt by like the rule change, right?
yes, right. It searches for items, and tools are not going to be items. So, yep, it gets hurt. with that too. Yeah.
Yeah, and then you do still have something like Radiant Greninja though, which like supplements that style. Both like those
Right.
like weaker style engines, right? Like the Comfy, the Mew, um, but
Hmm.
you can't scoop them at that either. So
Right. And then I think, well, it's not exactly an engine, but Arceus Vstar is a very, very powerful setup piece. It kind of is an engine for one turn almost, in a sense, if you think of it like that. So that sticks around, and that gives life to decks that, particularly builds that needed Inteleon. Arceus Vstar can kind of maybe get you through that one key turn with it.
yeah, like Palkia and Lugia.
Well, obviously not those. I guess it kind of. I know. I understand. So, but it is draw two is good, and we do have the tool that lets the V Pokemon draw one. So
Search for one.
search for one, any one
It's a
card.
bit better than draw one.
Oh yes, a lot better. So and the other VMAX engine piece that just doesn't see a lot of play. And I'm sure you're excited to lean into it more. Rayquaza VMAX, right? The ultimate engine.
Ah, yeah,
But
yeah, that one's interesting.
you discard your hand and draw three, right?
Yeah, it's not bad.
No, it's
And then
really
I
not
thought,
bad. It just
yeah,
doesn't
it's not like that good
work.
either though. Like you don't, it's not a lot of draw. So it's not the best, especially if you want to do any sort of combo. It's kind of bad.
Yeah, well,
But
yeah, it doesn't attack. The attack is too tough to set up, I think. But
yeah, well, I'm saying if you need like multiple cards in hand at one time, you're probably not gonna get that off of three.
that's true.
Um, and then also, I thought you were gonna say Shadow Rider Calyrex Remax. That's one is also going to be very playable, I guess. I mean, it's
Right.
not that good, but the engine will be playable.
You draw the two cards when you attach an energy, right?
Yeah, which by the way, don't play. Like Gardevoir EX is just better, but Shadow Rider's still out there. You can play that if you want, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, depending what else people are playing, obviously. So it's
Yeah.
again, there's better options, I think, generally, but it's there. So yeah, I mean, for what we said, Curlia, and did we say Bibarel?
Not yet.
I don't think we did. So that's the other engine now that was the World Championship and in the World Championship deck, but I don't think people give it the respect now. It's kind of fallen off in
I mean,
terms
it's
of
not that good.
well, you have to play it a certain way. Now, losing quick ball hurts because you have to thin your hand down, but you still have ultra ball. So
Yeah,
it's
like
not.
it has value, but like as long as you like, I think it has value with the Glare Mouth particularly. A lot of people don't like Glare Mouth. I think
Mhm.
Glare Mouth provides a lot of value, and we're losing that,
Yeah,
um, as well as like quick ball and stuff. It generally has value though, and I think it has value with Squovet.
with Skwovet. So you want to, oh, you want to pair those together? Is that where you're going to go?
Yeah. So, um, for those of you that and that everything that's like already out, I
Yeah,
think
I mean, just the other comment with the barrel, it's not livable searchable as a stage one, also, so that hurts it.
yeah. hmm Um, it is lovable searchable, is of course Squirvet, the great Pokemon. Which, if you don't know what it does, it's a basic that's completely broken coming out in Scarlet and Violet, and it says an ability. I don't remember what it's called, but it's not translated yet anyway, so it doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
It says, I think you shuffle your hand, put them on the bottom of your deck, and draw one. Is that what it is?
Yeah, shuffle your hand, bottom of the deck, draw one. Yes, so
So,
it's like being harsher to yourself than being marnied, and you're doing it intentionally. And you think
no,
and somehow you think this is a good card. So
well,
far when
it's
we
like a
talked
free
about it,
card. It's a free card. It's a free card.
and it's a wait. So Skwovet is a stage one. Is that correct?
No, it's a basic.
It's a
It's a
basic.
basic.
Okay, so it's easy to set up, um, but we don't really have a way to put the card. I don't understand how one would ever want to play this. I got to say.
Yeah. So you're just too small brained here, unfortunately.
Right.
So one, I mentioned Bibarel. Bibarel says
Yep.
draw to layer 5. So you see the other card, you can like scroll it a few times because you can do multiple scrolls every turn. And then you can Bibarel to fill your hand back up. So that's cool.
Right.
And also it means you're not like there are times when you have researched and you're like, this hand's garbage, but I can't get rid of like all my rare candies in my stage 2, so I'm gonna lose. So you just don't play it, or you do play it and then you lose. Like you just
Hmm.
lose in that scenario. Now you
Sometimes
scroll it, sit down at the bottom of your deck. I mean, I don't lose, but you do. All
it
right,
can
so
happen to me. Yeah, it's happened once or twice.
so you send those onto the bottom of the deck, and now they're still in your deck, and then you can get them later. Obviously, you'll like shuffle it at some point or whatever. And then Yeah, so you're not like losing all your important resources, and you're getting another card out of it. And then you also have, as I said, you can fill it up with the barrel, or you can pair it with
Hmm.
Genesect. A bit awkward there because Genesect you want as my Fusion Strike Pokemon in play,
Right.
but it's an option. And then one card we didn't talk about yet, which is actually pretty good. Some people probably wouldn't say it's pretty good, but it provides certainly value. It's Altaria from Is it Evolving Skies? I think it is, right?
I think so. I'm not. I'm trying. I don't remember offhand.
Yeah.
But that
So
puts
it
a
allows.
supporter on top.
Yeah, so not quite as strong as Gallade, which pushes it straight into your hand, but with Scrollvet, you just draw straight into it. And someone commented this on one of my videos, and it's completely broken. It's with Mustard from the mustards that we were just talking about with like
Mm-hmm.
Beefeon and stuff. Um, you get down to the zero card hand, you just mustard, bam, like free mustard, right? It's pretty. That's actually very easy to set up because you just need one basic, which is level
Mm-hmm.
ball searchable, a stage one, which is also level ball searchable, and
Yes.
that's actually very easy to set up. And then you can just mustard, probably Beedrill. You could do something else though. You can now mustard's very easy. It's easier than Inteleon actually, because you can do it
Mm-hmm.
every turn like this. You don't need more pieces. And if your opponent like KOs one of your pieces, you still got that Pokemon that you like attacker in play that you got with mustard. So it actually works pretty well. And that just is. I think that's gonna be one of the best decks in format.
Maybe. Okay, so there's pieces to pair it with. The Altaria obviously sets you up for the cards you want. The barrel fills your hand back up with cards. It could work with things like that. Now, by adding the Squovit, you're adding an additional piece you got to get set up to make it work. So, it could work. I can see that. Whether it's too many pieces to get set up to work consistently, I'm not sure.
Yeah, I think the Beedrill Cinderace stack could be very strong. The single strike Beedrill Cinderace stack could have a lot of power behind it and
Mm-hmm.
now more consistency. You could pair Baynet. Um, you could do like Urshifu. There are a lot of options, right? And then you can do Rap. You
Yeah.
could like turn
Well,
one. Well, probably not turn one, but like Rap Strike Urshifu,
mhm.
stuff like that. Still very strong.
Yeah, I mean the rapid strike, obviously the mustard, it's depending is better as the game goes on, probably because with the single strike mustard, it draws from the deck, which is better like your first early turns. But then the rapid strike draws from the discard pile, and sometimes you have issues with all your card you want being the discard. Then the single strike mustard's no good. So I kind of I might want to try trying that with the rapid strike could be a nice play too.
Yeah, well, the difference is with like single strike mustard, you're discarding your whole hand with like Glaring Meowth or whatever, right?
Yeah,
But now you're just squivering, so it's still in your deck, so you can still muster it out pretty easily.
that's
Because
true.
you're not ever like discarding any cards. Obviously, when it dies, that's a problem. But
Yeah.
hopefully you have enough that you can just stream them and you can like recover them. There are some ways. I don't actually know what Pokemon recovery looks like post rotation. Um, but I'm sure you can figure out something,
Right,
right?
right. We're losing Rod, which is the one of the big ones.
Yeah, there's a supporter. Excuse me. There's a supporter that like recovers Pokemon that's actually very good, but obviously then you can't muster that turn. But I think it'll be fine.
Sure, I'm sure it'll be good. And then there's the other new card, right? That you should talk to me about that I think is actually the good card rather than the Squovit.
Yeah, the room.
Yeah, the Revavroom, which discards one energy and you draw until six. So that's one more card than Bibarel. So potentially
Well, and essentially two as well, because you discard the energy, right?
you have to discard, right? So now it has to be an energy, whereas like with Curlia, it's any card. Now it has to be an energy. So you have that limitation, but drawing till six is a very
Oh, you
nice
could do
number.
Malamar Mustard
Y-
with Scovit Altair Malamar Mustard, right?
Malamar mustard, and then I Revavroom after that. Is that what you're saying?
Exactly. I don't know. It just works with Scovit so easily, so well. It might make Malamar good.
Maybe you'll play Malamar without hating it,
Maybe I'll play Malamar. Maybe.
but probably not.
Nah,
So
probably not.
no. But I think the Revavroom, which is a stage one, I think that could be. It's a much more logical engine piece than the Squovit, right? Drawing till you have six and having to have discarded down a card before that is a very good number. It's one energy, and I think it can be any type of energy. So even if you're playing some special energy, you can still use it with that. So I think that's is going to be a good option for people.
Yeah, I think it's all right. I don't know if it's better than Barrel. I think it's obviously um less like consistent, right?
It,
Because you need the energy in hand, and you're losing training core as well.
yeah.
So I can't think of any way that guarantees the energy.
hmm Now,
Um,
is Squovit level ball searchable? Do you know? Do you know what the
yeah,
HP is?
Scribble's, yeah, I'm pretty sure. I think it's like 70. I don't know. I know it's a little searchable though.
Okay, so which is a plus. That's one of the things that holds back Barrel some. I think that its HP is too high.
Yeah, but River Boom is not lovable searchable.
River Room's not.
No.
It's too high.
Wait, are
Okay.
you looking at it? Are you looking
No,
at
I'm
it? Or
not.
you're not? Okay, I'm not either.
No,
Um,
okay. River Room's too high.
yeah, I think it's actually higher than Barrel. I want to say its attack's okay. I don't know what Scorvus attack is. Like most engine pieces don't have particularly good attacks, but sometimes they do, and that's kind of cool.
Um, yeah. I mean, so yeah, we'll see. I mean, in these cards, River Room and Squovit, they're probably going to come out with the initial Scarlet and Violet release. You think?
Yeah, I believe so. And there are some like I don't think there are any others that are like draw engine type cards. I mean, there are like supports and stuff, but um, yeah, it's mostly Room Squovit. So call it right now. What do you think the best engines are gonna be post rotation, post Scotland Violet post rotation?
Curlia might be the best one because you have the Gardevoir and Gallade options on top, and Lost Zone's going to still be strong. And I guess
Yeah.
Mew. I mean Genesect, but Genesect's also one deck too, so I don't like to count that as it's not an engine that fits in a lot of different decks. I'd say.
Yeah. Well, so your top three is Curlia, Lost Zone, Genesect.
Yeah, I'll put Rev of Room instead of
Okay.
Genesect.
You think Room's better than Bibarel?
I'm not. That's a good call. It's a good question. I think it might be.
Oh, you're giving up on Bidoof already. This is shameful.
Uh,
Although I am
well,
too. I
Pokemon
am
just
too.
did. They only did Bidoof Day the one year. I think they didn't.
I know it
They
was.
haven't returned that again. So Pokemon's abandoned Bidoof. I'd say, right?
Yeah, it's unfortunate, but it is what it is. I'll say my
So what are
top
yours?
three. I guess my third would probably be um. I think Lost One would be like the third best one, and the second one would
Okay.
be Curly, and the best one would be the Squovit.
You think Squovit?
Yeah,
Wow.
watch
All
out,
right.
watch out.
That's a hot take there. Huh? Squovit
Yeah,
is
Squovit
the new engine.
easily. It's I mean it's one of the best cards in the set, right? So
It doesn't appear to be one of the best cards in the set to me. I will say, but
I don't know. I think you're missing. I think this is it's gonna be with Mustard. I think it's Mustard's time to shine. It's been good with Beedrill, like Beefeon, pretty good deck. Arceus Beedrill, pretty good deck. Um, but no, I think we're gonna. I think like every other matchup is gonna be like Beedrill. So yeah,
look, I like Mustard, and they're very intriguing cards. Putting any Pokemon, including evolution, into play and drawing 5 cards is pretty solid. So it just hasn't lent itself to being that good or consistent yet.
yeah, yeah. I think it'll have its time to shine. I think it'll have its time in the spotlight within a few months, or the game will Pokemon will like disappear forever or something.
Well,
They'll
right.
realize they've created a monster and shut it down.
Or we just won't be able to play because you're only able to play it in live. So that's you understand that, right? And then the question is, can you play it all?
Yeah, yeah. Maybe they'll quote accidentally not make scope at work or something like that, and then you can't play it. But
Well,
you know,
yeah. When there's a
who knows?
when there's a card with that problem in live, it takes them often a couple months before they get it sorted out. So
Yeah, I think they've like fixed. They're like, yo, let's do a hot fix, and then like they're like, there's this game breaking bug that like completely makes the game unplayable. They fix it like a month later, and it's like it's not good. It's not good.
yeah. Now Squovit, is there going to be spread to? It's 60 HP.
It's
Is
60.
60? So that's
Ah.
but. But I don't. People aren't going to be playing the Chilling Reign and Talion, right? Because without the
No, I mean
Drizzile
I'm bit
engine.
nervous about Sableye, especially you're losing big Parasol. But
Oh, and they can knock out 2 of them in one turn.
yeah,
So
um,
yeah.
that's fine. That's fine. That's fine.
Lose your engine and they take 2 prizes. So
It's so good. It's all good.
Okay. So we'll see. And I'm looking at Reverum. It's 140, so it is bigger than Bebarrel.
Yeah.
So
What are the attacks on them? Anything good?
Skwovet does 20 for 2 colorless, so that's not great. And if you're
You
doing
can
it
stick a double turbo on it to attack for one.
exactly, well, to attack for nothing, right?
Well, yeah, you attack for one attachment though. It's
Correct. And that's kind of what a control player likes, right? An attack that does no damage.
exactly.
Except there's no effect on that, I don't think. And then the other, let's see, Reverum, it's 4 energy, one of which is a metal, so that is a high price to pay. Does
She's
9
metal. Oh wait, never mind.
So 4 energy is a lot, though. 90 damage plus flip a coin, 90 more if it's heads. So
Oh
that's not a good attack either.
no, that's not what I'm going to be using.
You're not going to attack with that one. I don't think we're attacking with either Riverroom or Squilvet. But look, I think
Yeah,
we're both. Those are cards that we're going to want to pick up and try out for sure.
yeah. I think Squivit has a lot of power. So, being able to like cycle through a deck. Also as a control player, right? It reminds me a lot of Pikimiku, um, which sees an extra card.
Yeah.
I think it's, I think it has value. I think it's better than Pikimiku because you can like use it every turn. You're not Pikimiku essentially reduces your deck size. Squivit does more than that. It actually like gets you more cards over the course of the game, right? So I think it's better.
As long as you're set up where you're getting the one card you need with the Squilvet. Otherwise, if you're just hoping you get lucky, it's not going to be
It's
good.
not luck, it's skill.
As long as you built your deck to set up Squilvet, you're okay. Hoping
Yeah,
you hit research off of Squilvet isn't going to come up your way often enough.
yeah, yeah. But I think it'll be pretty good. I think it'll be, yeah, with Mustard, Altaria, I think it'll see play. It'd be good.
All right, as long as you get the other pieces to get it set up too. But that's you don't have you don't have your engine to set up the engine to work, right? That
Well,
that, that may
yeah.
be your problem.
Well, you need a basic in a stage one. It's not that bad.
Yeah. No.
It's like he's saying you need like a Zacian and a Babero in play without any energy. That's like not very hard to do, and it's easier to get than both of those. So you got Love Ball. So
Yeah. Look, I look forward to seeing what you do with Squilvet. I'm not going to jump in and try Squilvet as my first card from Scarlet and Violet. I'm pretty sure.
yeah. One other engine we forgot to talk about.
Yeah.
This one I'll admit is not the best. But it's not the worst either. It's the Luxray. Oh, I got logged out. It's the Luxray from Crown Zenith, right? Which you can start it and then you like search for stuff,
Oh,
right?
right, which you've been liking to play. Yes.
Yeah,
I mean, it does.
40.
What's that?
Does wait? No, it does. What's it do? 50.
It
It's
does
50.
50.
Yeah, got power creeps in hard these days.
Oh, and you search for 2 trainers, so that's the engine part, right?
Yeah, it's actually like a worse attack than Talonflame. People are like, "Yo, look at this power creep," but it's actually worse than Talonflame. So it's not power creep. But anyways,
Yeah, I mean, Luxray's not again the most consistent thing either. If you're trying to make a deck consistent, I don't think Luxray's solving that for you. But
yeah, Luxray could see play in like Gardevoir X decks. Though I wouldn't be shocked if that happened.
yeah,
The new Greninja break.
okay. So anyway, so the fact is, everyone's the loss of the Italian engine is just a huge loss, but there's pieces there to make it up. And even the World
Yeah,
Championship deck didn't use an Italian engine, so they're still
yeah.
we'll survive.
Hopefully.
Well, yeah, at least IRL will survive, whether online survives rotation or not.
Yeah, well, hopefully IRL survives rotation. You never know. You never know. They're cutting locals. Maybe they'll cut everything too. Maybe they'll just like give up, decide that they're gonna like stop printing text on Pokemon cards.
Now, look, Worlds is in Japan this year. They gotta make sure that happens. I think that's pretty much a guarantee.
Yeah, I guess so.
As long as the world situation allows it to happen, of course. But Pokemon's
Yeah.
going to do everything in their power to make sure the event happens in Japan.
Yeah, I don't even know if most people can find Japan on a map.
Well, we don't need to talk about the state of education today, but look, it's hey, look, the engine's rotation's coming. I think these engine it's it's an interesting question to consider what we're at and what's going forward.
Yeah, I think so. I think we'll see some interesting decks. It's not tossing off the meta too much, which I think is good. I think the meta's in an all right spot certainly. We're not like losing all the fun decks, so that's good.
Yeah, and there was a point not that long ago when like it seemed like every deck played the Italian engine, but we've moved away from that. So that's good. I mean, it's good to have to change also. There's and like we went through. There's a number of different engine options out there. So and they're probably over time going to all be good, viable decks. And people tend to target in as a group on one engine, but think trying out the other engines that other people are ignoring is certainly a good thing to do too.
Yeah, like the news that's gonna drop, and then everyone's gonna play like Gardevoir, and then everyone's being like Gardevoir's the best deck. It's broken, even though like everyone's playing it, so it's not actually like broken. The people are, but yeah, we'll see how this goes. I'm looking forward to the new stuff though. I think, as I said, I think Mustard Squirrel will be quite good. But I think that's all for today.
Yep.
Um, yeah, I'm 10 Types here on Common Fossil, and this has been a reasonably effective podcast. And we hope you enjoyed. If you're on YouTube, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Check it out on the other persons as well if you want a different point of view, I guess. And also tell us if you want this to be on any other platform and how to do that as well.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We need
so
help
so
there.
we'll try to do that. Maybe. These are certainly not the highest performing videos. I wonder if anyone's actually going to get this far, but if you did, we hope you enjoyed. And as always, we're excited to see you in the next podcast.
All right, take care.